So here we are.
Yep.
How are you?
Yeah, right. Okay.
It's good.
Been better. I think we've all been better.
We've all been better.
Tumultuous time.
Yep.
Tumultuous week ahead, I'm sure.
Are you also bracing with like clenched bum cheeks?
Nah, because it's the worst that's going to happen. We lose. We've done that a lot this year.
I mean, yes.
What's going to happen when we get embarrassed?
Yeah, well, but is it? I mean, there's just always more venom with Collingwood, isn't there not?
Yeah, but yeah, there is. But I don't think it matters in this case. Nice.
Why?
That's your finest work. You spoke yesterday. I tuned in yesterday to Footy Abroad, and the topic was brought up of games that. See, I'm a fan. Not only am I a contributor, I'm a fan of the channel. Genuine fan.
Cheers. Thanks for your support.
All good, bro. I got you.
Bro.
Do you want to address it? Address it. No, do it. Address it.
No, I've addressed it. I've addressed it. We've had it out.
No,
you know what? I'll tell you what I feel. I feel like this week has been the week of having real conversations and getting things off chests as part of healing. That's what I feel. And true relationships form once honest conversations are had.
I hate that phrase.
No, but like when I have honest conversations, they're honest, not Carlton honest. There's a difference between Carlton honest.
Yeah, but I think it's saying that you have honest conversations implies that the rest of your conversations are not honest.
Okay, sorry.
You
not honest. You're right. You are right. I mean, uncomfortable conversations.
It wasn't an uncomfortable conversation. You just come. I just joined the call and I just get teed at.
Yeah, you got teed at because you pissed me off.
Run.
You pissed me off. You shouldn't have done it.
I have no regrets.
If there's any time to poke me, it's definitely not when we're down by 10 goals to Port Adelaide away.
I thought you'd be up for it.
Mate. I'm up for it. I'm up for it. I'm up for your antics at halftime. Got the world caving in, about to do fan cams, and I've got you.
I'd argue this. I'd argue 70% of this relationship is built on us. When the other person's down, we just kind of like don't stick the knife in, but like really, how do I say, a very cold approach.
I disagree. Sorry, I agree, but I think we also know when. Like time and place, aka keep it to Wednesday.
Okay, I won't speak to you ever, and only on this show.
This is you. You know, you're just like, okay, now you're just going to take it to the extreme. It's like, just don't be a smart ass when we're down 10 goals and try and poke at me.
Okay.
That's all. I feel like it's pretty. I feel like it's fair and reasonable.
That's fine. I also did send a message of support for you and the fan cams after the game, which got aired, which got absolutely blanked.
Yeah, because I wasn't having a bar of you.
So I can't be nice.
No, you needed to just stop talking.
So I've already said that I'm a fan. I've already said I'm a fan and supporter of the channel, and then I go out of my way to personally reach out and give you my good wishes and my well wishes and really send my support for you for what was inevitably going to be a very tumultuous and very hard fan cam session.
You cannot compare tonight and what happened last Thursday in the same story because the support tonight is different. Also, you didn't acknowledge. Anyway, the point is this, right? This is the point. This is the bottom line. We've had a really good, productive dump. Well, I have of how
Yeah,
I'm
I
feeling.
didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
But like the key to healthy relationships is, when something's on your mind and you got to get it off your chest, you've got to say it.
Okay.
And that's it. So
Okay.
now I'm over it because it's done, and we can get on with this show.
Okay. What were we
So,
talking about before?
hello everyone, welcome to the Bias Footy Show. It's Collingwood week. It's round 17. Do you take any stock in the fact that it's round 17 against Collingwood, or am I just being woo-woo?
Round 17. Oh, 17. No, you're mate, you're the Lulu, mate. Come on.
Okay, fine. As in like symbolic, when...
No.
Stop that? Okay, fine.
Yeah. Stop.
Yeah.
Come on. Suck on notice, mate.
We'll see who's here. Hello, Damien, Matt, Kylie, Danielle. Hello, Explicit Empress. In your prearranged appointment slot, Ari. True. Hello, Tatum's Tantrum.
Our relationship doesn't exist beyond the means of this hour and a half every week.
That's not true. That's also
I know
not true.
Yeah, I know it's not true. It's playing the bit.
Has anyone noticed how little we care about the Pies game compared to usual? Well, yeah, I have a little bit of what's the word? Yeah, tensing of the butt cheeks. Like, what's about to happen? Great name.
Great name.
Best name in the community. They'll find this. Like, literally my favorite name.
There's something. There's an award.
Hello, Damien. Chris D. Stop the Malak ears. You're right. Rat Poison, thanks for showing us the kind of fascist douche nozzle. Well, yeah, thank you. Break bread. Yeah, that's what we're here to do. We're here to, yeah. And I think that's also what I was there to do with the Prez. Like, I don't trust the board or the president anymore because of that conversation. And I think he understands that. And I think that's very clear because actions and results will be the only thing that talk forever from now on. But it was an uncomfortable conversation to have had outside in the gardener stand on the wooden chairs. Like, it was cold,
It's the trend of the club at the moment.
What's that?
And the atmosphere cold, very uncomfortable. So yeah, I don't think that interview could have happened any other way. I think you did a marvelous job with that, though. May I say so?
Thank you.
So yeah, it was a delightful. It was a welcome surprise because when the first promo video came out, I was like, oh, this is where we're at now. So it was you did well. You did well.
I can't tell you. I don't know if I can express it. Like, something came out of me when I said the word spiritually bankrupt to him. I can't explain it.
Did you feel the need to say? Obviously, I don't think you plan on saying anything, but when it came out, is it more of a saying it in the hope that it has an impact, or just saying it because you had to say it?
I felt like it had to come off my chest, and when it did, there was like a relief. It's a very harsh thing to say to someone who runs a club.
Well, yeah, but I think this is one of your mates' favorite quotes, and Buckley, something along the lines of appreciate the individual but challenge the professional. So it's not an attack at him as a person or anyone on the board, them as people, but as the professional, as the person in their job and in their in their profession. You have to challenge, especially when they're in such a high profile seat per se. Have to challenge, and I think that's a credit to you for putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, it all happened so quickly, and I just trusted the instinct. But I think the club, the brand conversation or topic had to be spoken about. 5 spoons, I felt was important to say. Spiritually bankrupt, I thought was important to say. There's so many questions to ask, And I think most people get that it's hopefully a first step in the direction of more conversation so we can have more questions answered. And sometimes we don't like the answers that we're given, but we still got to hear them. I don't like some of the answers that were given, but I still think there's space for it. So it was uncomfortable for me, uncomfortable for him, but fair play for doing it, because it was clearly not something that I think it would be easier for the club if Blue Abroad did not exist. So
well, it would be easier for the clubs if media in general didn't exist. I don't know if you caught Mitch Cleary's comments last night.
No.
I think it kind of adds to it, but he basically went along the lines of saying he's not purposefully challenging Michael Voss, but is making a note of not letting this situation that the club on field find themselves in just be swept aside, putting the pressure on him and by proxy the club to be accountable, which I saw has caused a bit of a stir on Twitter. But then again, when doesn't that happen?
Yeah.
So I feel like the external, very important in times like this, whether it's new media, traditional journalism, very important in times like these to hold the club to account. Otherwise, the club holds a narrative, and that's no good.
I would argue the mainstream media has been pretty supportive of Michael Voss compared to in years gone by than what I've seen in the past for coaches.
I gut feel tells me to agree with what you're saying, and I think that's because they are realizing now what we've, as a fan base, who are obviously far more emotionally attached to the club and are far more ingrained into the club, have realized for a long time that is it's not just a head coach; it's a lot deeper than that. And I think now, on a whole, the mainstream media are understanding that fact as well. That so you sack Malthouse, you sack Bolton, you sack Teague, where you're going to sack Foss again, and eventually the fifth coach is going to figure it out. There's got to be something underlying issues here. I think now they're on the right path.
Yeah, I actually met your mate Mitch for the first time.
Oh yeah,
he knew who I was. He said Terry straight away.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
Yeah, we had a good chat. I had half. I'll be honest. I had half a moment. I was like, do I ask him for a photo to send to you? And then I was like, no, that's weird.
He probably wouldn't understand. Oh, he would know who I was, but I don't think it'd be like that much of a thing where he'd be like, oh, him. Does that make sense?
Yeah. He actually told me about the Jack Silvani thing. He's like, yeah, have you heard about Jack? I'm like, well, no. He's like, just waiting to see if he comes out. He's heard that he saw. So that's another developing story. Jack Silvani, soreness.
Was present in the Sydney game because it's his groin, isn't it? So
yeah.
That was what had him in that's what had him in troubles in that block of games. So not entirely surprising. It hasn't necessarily come out of nowhere. And I think that he has been good and has been consistent, but I think that naturally has probably been a little bit of a dip in performance team wide, but potentially in him as well. He's still been great, but I think we saw the best of him probably before the Sydney game in that block. Couple of game block.
Yeah. So that's that. I should probably check. How'd you go in tipping, bro?
100%, mate.
Did you really?
I'm good at what I do.
Oh no. I typically fall at this point in the year.
Who'd you tip? They got it wrong.
Bro. Ugh. You ready for this? So round 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tip 5. Okay, it's not terrible, but I tipped the Blues.
Oh, you idiot.
I did. I tipped Carlton and I tipped the Swans. I did think, and I thought I was going to be right as well.
No. Not in Bonds 250. No way.
Not in Bonds 250. Yeah, true. The Dogs aren't Carlton and they don't let down their champions.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 for 7 from me. So happy days.
Well done. Yeah. What's your total tips?
Oh, God. I'm actually mid tipping this round. 87.
87?
Yep.
I am sorry, I just got out of that by accident. I didn't mean to. Competitions Blue Abroad tipping. I'm 175th. You might be ahead of me, you know.
Let's check that because that would.
Oh my god, you're on 87 tips.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm on 85. I've dropped. Oh man, see, like little germ. All right. Anyway, I'm going to regroup. I'm rattled. Not going to lie, I'm a bit
Call
rattled.
me a germ.
Yeah, you are a little. Sometimes you're a germ.
Mate, you've come off the long run twice in half an hour. This is maybe maybe there's some underlying issues. Maybe we need to go for coffee and then hash it out.
That'd be nice.
You're paying though.
I guess I'm paying. I was going to say, yeah, I guess I'm paying. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, we'll get back to Carlton because we're going to go preview the whole round. Won't take long because we're going to go through every game. How about that?
It's the MO of the show.
Your boys, the Western Bulldogs, up against. Yeah, I think you've taken a real liking to the Dogs. You're a real believer.
I've always liked the Dogs.
Yeah,
I've always had a little bit of an affinity to the Dogs.
Yeah, the Dogs in North Melbourne. They're just like, are the Dogs a smoky again? Like, is it real?
I think it's always been real. I think the way that they've been playing on a whole has shown that they just haven't really been able to play consistent footy when it's mattered. But I think now coming into like the latter third of the season, they've shown that they don't need to finish in the top four to get it to go all the way. And I think this is probably their most talented list. Maybe the 2021 list, they got them deep. Probably they got them all the way to it halfway through the third quarter. But I would say that this is arguably as talented as that list. And I think a lot has to do with who they've got forward of the ball in that unicorn bloke. That is ridiculous.
But
and also,
they're so good in tight. Their handballs in tight are so good. Like their contested game is good, but their ability to get that ball, like it goes to the outside eventually, but they can withstand and absorb pressure so well and get the ball through it.
When you have players like Bont and Libba and Richards and Joff Frazier and these guys who are clean, and that is what they are. They are clean footballers. It really does help that. I think it really does help that.
Is Matt Kennedy an A grader?
No. Is
Matt Kennedy an A grader this year?
No.
Midfielder that's kicked 18 or 19 goals? Matt
Kennedy is a good midfielder.
Okay.
I think he's had a.
I think if they were doing an All-Australian squad today, he would be in it.
No.
Matt Kennedy?
Squad of 40?
Yeah, like today. Like the live running squad of 40. I think Matt Kennedy would be in it.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. He's the fourth best midfielder at the Dogs.
He's the fourth best midfielder at the Dogs. So you've got Bont, Richards, Libba, and then him?
Probably, yeah.
Bont, Richards, Libba. Okay, fair enough. Maybe I'm just biased.
Yeah.
Well, this is the.
Yeah. No, he's a great footballer. Really good footballer. I wouldn't say he's A grade. Well, he's not in your mate's A grade whiteboard list, although Taylor Walker is.
Yeah. Sammy's a very hard man to please. He's got high standards.
That's another thing. Another gripe. Message him. How his text on that? Yeah, don't.
I think it's pretty. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
He's had one good year in his entire career.
It's about the body of work.
One elite year in his entire career.
Yeah. Do you listen to the Two Guys One Cup podcast?
No, I don't.
I was on it. They asked me to go on.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
It's wild. And I had a moment of, I'm sure you were listening last night, but to sit on a panel, like a podcast, with a Doggy supporter and a Saints supporter, and the Doggy supporter be the one that has the bragging rights about how successful his club's been, I think that says a little something.
Yeah, it does. But I don't think it's. I think it's a. It's an obvious fact once you say it, but if you don't actually think about it, it doesn't seem too obvious. But once you do think about it and say it, it makes sense.
Right. No, fair.
Yeah. So like even since the last, so even since '95, like the Dogs had, what was it, 98 in the prelim around about that time, and then they had the period in the late 2000s, very early 10s where they were there or thereabouts, and then 16, and then 21, and then potentially this year as well, depending on. So it makes sense.
Were you surprised to see North Melbourne put in and dish up that performance last week?
Was I surprised?
I promise you, I was not surprised. I was so confident that's exactly what's going to, I don't even know who Port Adelaide's playing right in this moment, but I think that's going to happen to Port as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wouldn't be surprised. I guess from the calm perspective, yeah, it is typical. I wasn't surprised though, considering the fact, like, if you take the Carlton stuff out of it and just look at them in isolation, they're probably due a result like this because they're still a young side and they've been consistently good for a couple of months now, and they're always going to have those games where they falter, and it just, of course, happened to be last week, when the week before they did the job on us. So both unsurprising and surprising at the same time, depending on which way you look at it. But yeah. And they're battered and bruised with injuries now. So
who will you tip?
The Dogs.
I will tip the Dogs. Let's move along, because on the 4th of July, the Blues pay the Pies. Joel is here. Wow. He's here. He's a show. He's like, I'm so sick of this club shit. How much longer do supporters have to hear from the likes of Mackay talk shit in the media and Voss not drop Doc and Kerno? Yeah, I watched Harry on 360. I just feel like it's, I don't know. I mean, it's hard for everyone to hear anyone speak. That was a really weird interview.
I didn't catch it. Give me the lowdown.
I think because I've heard Harry speak on his own podcast, so like you kind of, you know what he's like when he's just talking normally, and then just to hear him speak on 360, he's not even playing. So like, why is he up? I mean, unless he was always planned to be on 360 and they booked him in weeks in advance before he got injured. I don't know, but he's not going to be there on Friday. So it's weird.
What was he just very straight?
It was just like, focus on what you can control, like the generic stuff. I mean, no one's going to be able to, I don't know, no one's going to give proper answers. But yeah, there will surely come a time where they talk differently, when they're talking, hopefully retrospectively, about the problems that they were facing. Because I think after you overcome your issues, then you can be really honest about what the issues were. And we just haven't been able to get over the major obstacles, so then we can start hearing them talk about, oh, this was the problem and we needed to come together. Like the Richmond boys, when they eventually got over it, started talking differently afterwards. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the as the old saying goes, we will only know in 20 years' time when someone writes a book about it, right? Like that, like that's the old cliche. So, yeah, I didn't watch it. I don't really watch like those shows. As I try to catch as much as I can, but yeah, didn't say it. And I'm not surprised that he spoke. That it seems to be that he spoke very straight battered, because I don't think there's only, in the same way that there is only so much straight bat media talk you can give, there is only so many times you can be open without causing issues that negatively impact the club. So like, fair. He's not going to come out and say anything what's it, inflammatory? Is that
that's
about the club? Yeah, you're not trying to cause friction in a time where we're already divided. Like, fair. Especially fair. Out in public. I don't think that's a good way of going about it.
Okay, that's a fair point. Look, let's talk. All right, so it's Collingwood. It's such a weird build up to a Collingwood game. And I asked the question in my title yesterday with Rocker, like, is the rivalry dead? It's not dead. And I don't think I can sit here and bitch and moan about, is the rivalry dead just because Carlton suck? But it doesn't have the same feel. Like when I speak to Rocco about the Carlton-Collingwood rivalry, like I feel it in every word that he says because he's lived through the experiences of it. And that's also why I wanted to speak to him this week, because he's just got that, I don't know, Carlton spirit about it when he talks about Collingwood, and I don't have it anymore. Like I just don't. I don't truly feel it. So how do you feel about the Collingwood-Carlton rivalry?
What is there to feel at this stage? I'm concerned about I'm concerned about us. I don't I like in my like, yes, you hate Collingwood. Like you absolutely do.
But I don't.
But like I just want us to win. Like
Yeah.
I want us to win. I want us to win flags. I want us to play well. Don't really care about any other team. I obviously am happy when they lose, obviously, as like I reckon 90% of Australia are. And when these games come around, you don't enjoy them. And you don't enjoy them for 99.99999% of the game. And the only time you do enjoy them is when there's 10 seconds to go and you're 10 goals up. Only then is when you start to enjoy it, sort of deal, right? And that's just the nature of the beast. And I think also because of the polar opposite nature in which both clubs are at doesn't help that, because we're obviously in a position where it's damage limitations and they are probably gleeing at the potential of doing what they could potentially do on Friday night, which I don't want to put it out into the universe, but I'm sure everyone has that thought in the back of their head where it's been ugly, but can it get uglier? So, yeah.
Yeah. If it rains, 6-goal loss. No rain, 10-goal loss. Is it going to rain? What is the weather forecast?
Has not stopped raining for the last 4 days.
So I'm looking here. It says 14 degrees, no rain as it looks in this moment. Like a good Friday night. Now, I know that it's all dead, and like I get it. I've accepted it. Took me a while, but I'm here. But surely there's something that can spark energetically from, like, so we can feel a little connected to something with the win. No, like, wouldn't a win do that?
Well, a win against Collingwood, regardless, does things, right? It does. Like if you were to sit there before the season and say you're only going to win 2 games for the entire year, I think every single person in the fan base would say at least one of them, if not both of them, would be against Collingwood, sort of deal, right? So it's like it's obviously the game that you want to win the most. But once again, we find ourselves in this position where we have to cling on to these things, where it's like realistically, like we should be in the top. We should be in the top 4. This should be a top 4 clash, and our motive going into the game should not be let's beat Collingwood so we can get one up on them. It should be let's beat Collingwood so we can go three games clear inside the top 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So and I also think that's why in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, these games meant a lot because we were perennially good. So it was also, we beat Collingwood, but it's also we beat Collingwood to go 2 games clear at top. How good's that? Whereas now it's like we beat Collingwood, great, but we're also 14th. So you enjoy the bragging rights, but at the end of the day, when they're playing in September and we're not, who's the real winner? Sort of deal. I don't know if that's a very modern way of looking at it, but obviously you want to beat Collingwood, but I don't want to beat Collingwood and be in the top 4 as well.
Yep. Who are you tipping?
Collingwood.
You're tipping Collingwood. You're going to do it. Fair enough. Did you see that Maynard accidentally knocked out De Goey at training?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to get all clingy to hope, but
what?
You just
what hope is it giving you? What, the vision, fractures in the group?
There's just no game that can bring people together more than this situation. It's Vossi's birthday on the 7th of July. It's coming up, you know.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Another thing that I put on the run sheet, which I think is a good thought experiment to have. Is there, obviously, it's been said without being said that Michael Voss will coach out the remainder of the year at least. Is there a result that could happen on Friday that has a premature end, I would say?
I can't. I mean, can they really have come out this week and shown so much support and such a clear message that they're going to stick together for the next 8 weeks, only to sack a coach the week after? I don't know. Like, okay, worst of the worst is what, 100-point loss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can't see him doing it.
You'd think not, right?
Yeah. Would they really expose themselves to that sort of criticism more than what they've already felt? By, you know,
does it get to a point where it's beyond repair?
Yeah, but not. I don't think it's this week. No matter what happens.
I think so as well.
Yeah,
I hope so more. I actually hope so more than anything. So,
yeah.
Who knows?
I'm tipping Carlton. Fuck it.
Well, you really are paying for Nobu.
Yeah. Oh, it's clearly Nobu now, is it? Great.
Well, isn't that what we were saying?
Okay, now that you're ahead, you're very clear on what we were saying. Great.
Okay, but wasn't it your?
It was.
Yeah, it was. See,
it was.
You said you could chip.
I'm playing. Okay, West Coast GWS also on Friday night, 8:20 p.m. Optus Stadium.
Oh, thrilling.
Your boys. You have a lot of boys. You got the Doggies. You got the Giants. You got the Blues. You got North.
No, yeah. Oh, you're wrong there. Yeah, the Giants will win this, surely, you'd think, even though Hogan, and their injury list is pretty deep.
Yeah.
You'd think that they'd still be good enough to get the job done.
I think so.
Yeah. What did the Eagles do last week?
The Eagles, they lost to Collingwood. They're actually pretty solid. They were okay.
Yeah, all right. They were good. They were okay. Does that give you any confidence?
Does it give me any confidence? No, I think Collingwood played with their food a little bit last week.
Yeah.
So, although I will just say this, just the whole absolutely no chance that we're all giving us no chance. And if it seeps into Collingwood in any way, like any team's vulnerable when you think too far ahead. Any team's vulnerable to that.
Well, I really hesitate to give them any credit, even though I went on my monologue 5 or so minutes ago. I do hesitate to give them any credit. And a friend of mine who's a Collingwood supporter said it would be such a typical game for Collingwood to lose. And my retort to her was, when was the last time Collingwood lost a game like this? When was the last time? What do you mean, 2023?
Wait, is in against us?
When was the last time Collingwood went into the game as clear favourites and expected to get the job done and lost?
I don't remember.
Exactly. Whereas I reckon you could go through all the 17 other teams, including us, and you could very easily point out a game in the last 3 or so years.
I mean, I think we do it every 5 weeks on average.
Yeah, well, it was Richmond round 1, and then it was maybe the Sydney.
Oh,
and then North. So that's three. Yeah.
I forgot to give you some props.
Wow, the 180 is outstanding.
Hey, I'm fair. I'm balanced with my, rhetoric.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So I thought your idea that you created on TikTok with your ranking your 10 worst Carlton losses was brilliant.
The blind ranking. Thank you.
Like absolutely brilliant.
Thanks.
And I was like tempted to jump on the trend, but I thought, you're the TikTok guy, so is that acceptable to do the such thing?
What, blind rank, ripping off the idea bar for bar?
No, as in just like, you can like use, because you've obviously created the template now, right?
Yeah, so there's a filter on TikTok where you can click 8 of your own photos and you can blind rank them, yeah.
And so if I was to technically do the same video, I would use the template that you've set with the 8 games?
I didn't make the template, but yeah.
Oh, you didn't make the template. Okay, I thought you made the template.
No, so the template is pick 8 photos of your choice.
So you did create the 8-game Carlton worst losses template. Like they were your photos.
Yeah, but it doesn't save onto TikTok.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it doesn't say yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it was brilliant.
Feel free
Well
to,
done.
mate. Feel free, mate.
No,
I
thought
don't think I'm in any position to step on your toes.
No. It was. I thought it was like, I don't say it too often, but like, like your creative genius came out. I was like, oh, this is very clever. Well done.
Thanks.
I think you've started finding your little shtick. It's good. It's positive,
Thanks.
mate. Well done. Bravo.
Appreciate it.
All right. So Saturday, the 5th of July, 12:35 p.m. Marble Stadium. Essendon Gold Coast.
You tried to give me a compliment and made it the hardest task of all time.
Easy. You just don't know how to take it.
See?
All right. Talk to me about the Bombers. Mate, we think we're injury riddled. They can't stop.
They lost the bye.
Mm.
They've come out of the bye worse. Which is just very typical Essendon. I think their season was a write-off before the bye, but I think the just astounding amount of injuries they've seemed to have over the last fortnight is ridiculous. So obviously Zach Reid as well this morning came out with hamstring issues, and that's just no good for him because good footballer, but just can't stay fit. So I don't see, I don't see it being promising for the Bombers.
I think they'll win this game, but I'm now falling behind in the tip, so I don't want to get too risky. But I think the Bombers can win this game.
Well, the Suns were good last week, and that was a game where they lost a very similar game to Freo not too long ago. They did what they had to do, let the D's back in it, which probably wasn't great for them, but they did what they had to do. I think they're going to replicate that and just go to Marvel and do the job because they did it last year. What a game. Mac Andrew after the summer.
I remember where I was. I was at the Mount Erica Hotel, actually, the pub.
I remember where I was as well. Yeah.
Where were you?
Oh, I'm not getting into that.
Oh.
I was at the Mount Erica Hotel as well. I think
I know where you were as well. Anyway, let's just not talk about it.
I think the Suns will win. And 12:35 at Marvel, I don't like as well, by the way.
Why? Too early?
It's a double header at Marvel again. Like, what's the point?
Gotcha. Super Saturday, mate. What do you mean?
Exclusively live on Fox. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard.
Have you seen on Fox Footy, like sometimes they've got ads and then sometimes it's just we'll be back soon?
Are you watching on KO or Fox Footy?
KO.
Yeah, so that happens.
Oh, is that a KO thing?
Yeah, KO and Foxtel Go thing.
There you go. All right, I'll tip the Bombers. Fuck it.
Oh, mate. Okay, thanks. I'll get the Nobu menu up now and just start picking what I want.
You wouldn't even know one thing on the menu. Go on.
Caviar.
I don't think there's caviar on the menu.
No, surely.
No, that's more of an entrecote job.
Sorry, my mistake. It was a good stab in the dark, though.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not posh like you.
Okay, yeah. I'm so posh. Geelong, Richmond, Saturday 4:15. It's
Super
getting
Saturday,
mate.
It's Super Saturday.
It's getting real shitty, mate. It's
the top 9 are playing the bottom 9.
Yeah. God.
So,
this is Saturday afternoon. Trying to hate watch on other clubs. I'm just gonna watch like these top 4 teams just perform like top 4 teams.
Yeah, and just absolutely pulverize the living shit out of other teams.
Tom Lynch. Yeah. Thought 5 weeks. Enough? Not enough? Did he lose the plot?
Totally lost the plot. I mean,
he went full Barry Hall.
And multiple times. Lucky that I don't know if you saw the first incident where he swung as well, and then the second incident, the more well publicized one. Yeah, totally lost the plot. No place for that in the game anymore. No. Probably should have been stamped out 20 years ago. I think 5 weeks, considering the fact that he didn't. I mean, you've got to take into account action and outcome, I think, on the balance of everything. The outcome was not severe, so that obviously is a mitigating factor. I think 5 weeks is on the lower end of being right. So if I was adjudicating it in a sense, I'd say between 5 and 7, I would have gone with. So
I also saw Butts take a swing, which didn't connect, but it was a pretty serious swing.
Yeah, I did say that clip as well. I did say that on Twitter. Yeah.
Do you think he should have copped a bit too?
I think there's a difference between that. That looked more like a swipe of trying to get the arm off than a blatant roundhouse.
I thought it was a full roundhouse and he just missed.
Yeah, well, there's only one vision of that, and that would have been looked at closely because they would have gone through post game all of that. They would have gone through all of that, Butts and Lynch 1-on-1 sort of thing. So,
all right, so Geelong by a lot.
Yeah, heaps, heaps.
I'll tip Geelong as well. Brisbane, Port Adelaide, 7:35.
Going back on that,
yeah,
I was proud of that. I was proud of this stat. Geelong are 2-8 coming off the bye in the last 10 years, excluding COVID, excluding 2022. So they have 2 wins and 8 losses. So historically, not been a very good side after the bye, and I think a lot of Geelong players have come out and have acknowledged that fact. So if there's ever going to be a danger game for them, this would be it. And also the Tigers performed very well down there last year from memory. Okay. They kept it relatively close.
We'll see.
In saying that, Cats by heaps.
So Brisbane Port Saturday night, 7:35 at the Gabba. Like, I mean, you've sort of positioned this on the run sheet. You know, is Port a real chance? You know, like, mate, I am just so sure, like I was about North last week, that we are going to see Brisbane win this game by 48.
Yeah, no, it was more of a thought experiment. I agree. I think and
it's going to make me angry. So we're going to get to Friday night. We're going to hate that. Saturday, hate watching, and then we're going to watch Port just like put in one of the most miserable efforts, and just going to.
Well, they are in theory the only team outside of the top 9 that can make it. They're only 2 games outside with a third of the season to go. So I think the Giants are sitting 9th right now. From memory.
The Giants are sitting 9th right now.
The Giants, and they're equal on points, I'm pretty sure, with teams in the 8, and the next rung below that is Port. And then the next rung below that is everyone else. So I think Port are probably the only side apart from the 9 that are feasibly within a chance of making finals. And if they're ever going to solidify that, they win on Saturday night. In saying that, the Lions coming off the bye. Yes. No. Coming off the bye? Is that last week? Yeah, coming off the bye after a big win in Geelong, I think they're gonna really, because I think they've shown glimpses of putting the foot down when necessary in the first 2/3 of the season. I think now premiership push, they're gonna really stamp their authority.
So we're both tipping the Lions.
Yes.
Okay. St Kilda, Hawthorn, Saturday night as well. So it's a double header happening at the same time.
Two thrilling games.
It's actually a pretty shitty slate.
Super Saturday. Super Saturday.
I do think this game can maybe be better than what I'm thinking, but not by much.
No, I doubt it. I really don't think so.
Is this like? Am I giving Saints too much credit? I feel like I'm becoming a bit of a fanboy. I think it's Jake. I think he's gotten to me.
As you really?
So like a little bit. I guess speaking to him every week, I can sympathize a little bit with what he's going through. But I must say, I love watching him in the car after a loss. Like, this has got Jake in the car, Marvel Stadium, hey Sainers, like, just written all over it. Like,
do you love the Schadenfreude of it all?
Of what?
Of just saying, because obviously, as Carlton supporters, we are perennially miserable.
Yeah, I do actually, because like they get to watch us miserable and like me miserable, like, you know, like more often than not. So I do like to indulge a little bit in when I see the like. I get why it is entertaining for an opposition support. Like I understand it, you know. But I actually feel alive when I see like another supporter from another club in the dumps, because like, oh, okay, well, yeah, other people feel this too.
Yeah, we're not alone. although we feel like it at times.
But there's also this new thing about the whole Tom de Koning situation. So the Saints are perennially the underdog story. Never give up, or that's their identity. And now there's this new situation which is very unlike them, where they're throwing potentially the big cash. They're almost trying to be like old Carlton in a sense.
I do understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not traditional. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Someone who knows St Kilda longer than what I have. Have they ever been that type of club that just goes after that big name player? And I mean, they've had big name players. Tony Lockett played there.
Yeah. Most of their big name players were drafted there. Riedel, like that era. That spine was drafted there. They haven't really brought in a big fish, and even their guns now, Messiah, King, these guys drafted there. So this will probably be the first big fish that they've got. I do also think, like, if you look at the people at the top of that football club, like, there's some serious. I don't want to say power brokers. I don't think that's the right word to use, but some serious people, like some proper professionals at the head of that football club. I mean, Andrew Bassett, president, founded Seek. Like,
true.
Like, pretty, like, they're not, like, it's a different time.
Anyway, the Hawks, no Weddle, no worries.
I like Josh Weddle a lot.
I love Josh Weddle.
Imagine he was playing for Carlton. He'd be playing back pocket.
Oh, we wouldn't play him the way he's playing. And this is,
he'd be playing back shoulder lockdown on the third tall.
Josh Weddle. You know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Small forward.
Yeah. No,
tagging small forward.
Yeah. We'd line up against, like, North at the G with Josh Weddle in our team, and our advice to him would be like, all right, you see Jacob can stand here, back shoulder all day.
We're just so broken. It's all so broken, isn't it?
It's horrendous, mate.
Oh man, it's Khalia. Like, imagine season over at round 16, 15, or even just round 1.
Season over round 1.
Yeah.
In hindsight, especially.
Yeah. All right. I'm tipping Hawthorn. I think you will too.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Sydney Fremantle, Sunday. I did say last week I was on the Swans. And you know that my stance on Fremantle. I know they've won 5 or 6 in a row.
6.
Are you convinced?
Yeah. I think
I don't know why. Maybe I'm just jealous. Maybe I'm hate watching.
To be fair, I do think that if for any club most likely to not make the top 8 from the current 9, they're it. But I think they'll make it, if that makes sense.
Well, their draw is so favourable. I just think the Swans for sure this week.
Wow. Team for.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. With confidence?
Probably not the most confident pick of the round, but I would say 40% confidence. All
right.
Well, will this be played at the SCG? What are your thoughts on that?
On the ground? To be honest, I haven't given it much attention because I've been dealing with the, destruction of the Carlton Football Club.
Right.
And I basically got to Friday last week. We played on Thursday. Friday, did my review, and then honestly just like tuned the fuck out. Got away mentally. So I don't, whatever. Like, get it right. Obviously, you don't want to be dangerous. Do you have a strong opinion?
No, well, I just thought I'd bring the conversation topic to the table. I think it's well below AFL standard. This goes without saying. And I think
if someone is to get injured, touch wood, if an ACL were to happen, whoa.
Well, yeah, that's the fear.
Yeah.
Like, remember when there was this massive, like, everyone cracked it in 2023 when Ed Sheeran had his concert and one pocket of the G was a bit stuffed up for like 2 rounds. But Kelly was on 3 months ago, longer, 4 months ago, or however long it was. So I don't understand how that's. I don't see how that's still the case when
True.
Yeah.
Fair. Last game, 3:20 p.m. Adelaide Oval, Adelaide, Melbourne.
Adelaide.
This is Adelaide so clearly.
Yeah. By some comfortable distance, I'd say.
Yeah, it'd be ugly, won't it?
Probably it's shaping to be more ugly than it won't be.
Yeah.
Shout out,
it's good to have footy back, though. As in, it's good to have a full slate back.
Shout out Jack Malcolm, though.
Oh. Yeah.
I know you so well. I knew that would elicit that exact response.
Just warming himself up for 2 weeks' time. I can just see it. I've already seen it. Yeah. Jake Malcolm, aka Wayne Carey, in 2 weeks' time. Look, this is the state of play right now. So, do you think only the Giants or Port can make the 8 from here?
I don't think Port can, but they're the only other team apart from the 9 that can.
So you now think, because I think not long ago, a few weeks ago, we were talking about teams up until 13th still being alive. So are you completely ruling out this, like Carlton, yes, Straw, but like the Swans, Essendon, Melbourne?
Yeah, it's too far gone.
It's too far
because of the 9. So what you're relying on is the competition being so even that anyone can beat anyone. I think that 9 are so far clear of everyone else.
Yeah.
Now, so like we got very 2023, we got there on merit and we had a great end to the season. But we also got very lucky that it was a very competitive year as well, and in that regard. And we also got unlucky in the same sequence the last year, because if this was this year, we would have been comfortably in the finals and we wouldn't have to have gone through what we've gone through in the last round. So I guess it goes to show that not every year is different. And we've had the last couple of years be very competitive. I think this year we've seen a massive gap between I think the top 4 are clearly top 4. I think 5 to 9th are clearly 5th to 9th. And I think from 10th down, anyone can beat anyone from that area.
That's interesting, because I feel like only a month ago, a lot of us were talking about, wow, what a season. Look at this.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's reminding me of the 2016 season. Go back and look at that ladder. Talk about imbalance there. I think from 7th to 1st there was 2 games, and then 8th was 2016. These are
2016. What am I looking at?
Yeah, so 3 games between 7th and 8th, and then only 2 games between 7th and 1st.
Oh, true. Okay.
And then 5 games from 7th to 10th.
12 wins got you into the finals?
Yep.
Where the Blues finished this year? 14th. Ugh.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, we're seeing a season more of this, 5 games between 7th and 10th. That's crazy.
Yeah, right. Just 17, 12 wins got you. 12 wins got you to 7th in 2017. Look at the Blues down there,
battling away.
2018, 13 wins got you in.
Not even in frame there.
Wow, 2-20, 2-20. The Lions still down there. Okay. I don't know why I'm doing this, but just for the sake of... So we are now in blue abroad being alive reality. So, okay, 2019. 12 wins got you to 7th in 2019. 2020. No, okay, this was COVID, so obviously affected. 2021, I think, was also a little bit of COVID. No?
Yeah. Not game, behind closed doors, yeah. But
yeah, okay. So, okay, 11 wins.
Every game played.
It was just a weird, yeah, okay.
Well, that was another competitive year. So, all the way down to 17th, won 6 games.
22, 12 wins. Well, 12 wins didn't get everyone into the finals, only one team.
No, finally calm. Yeah. Okay.
Why
While it's on it, go back to that. Season.
Yeah.
We missed out by 0.5% or 0.7%, whatever it was, 6%.
0.6.
What do you blame that on? If you think of 0.6%, what moment, quarter, game in that stretch do you think, if only that didn't happen, what would it be? Because I've got mine straight away.
Well, Corey Durden went to the corner went to the pocket when no one was there.
I'm talking more percentage because like that would have got us a draw, which would have got us in on points. But I'm talking more percentage. I've got mine straight away.
What's yours?
We kicked 1 goal 6 in the third quarter against St Kilda in round 18 that year. 1 goal 6. 2 goals 4. We're playing finals. We still lose the game, but we're playing finals.
Wasn't this also the year where we were up by 40 or 50 against Port and Hawthorn?
And Hawthorn, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. Anyway.
Got what we deserved, if you ask me.
Oh, no. Totally.
Oh, jeez. 13 wins, got you to 5th and a prelim.
Huge. 13.5 as well.
24, 13 wins, you limped into finals and got absolutely obliterated within 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was only
to be fair, I think the first 10 minutes of that final was like,
they kicked their first goal on the 12th minute mark, I'm pretty sure.
There you go. And then 25. Where do you think we'll end when it's all said and done?
12th.
12th.
11th. Win a couple games. Beat the Bombers last round. Happy days.
Can we beat the Suns at Marvel?
Yeah, ugly though. We'll probably win that, but ugly. 20. Yeah. Suns at Marvel. We'll be gallant against Brisbane. Be gallant.
If we're gallant this week, I don't think we'll be gallant against Brisbane.
Yeah, true.
Nah, they just have to, as human beings, put in a showing this week after the last two.
What's an acceptable result?
What's an acceptable result? A win only, obviously, but obviously being a realist. Like, no, I mean, it's the characteristics we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Well, to me, anyway. So, chat. You guys watching at home. What is acceptable here?
So is this one of the few games? Because what are your thoughts on needing external motivation to get you up for games? Because I think we've been over this, but
I think the external motivation can add a few percentages here or there, but ultimately, if you can't get, motivation only gets you so far. Discipline is what really carries you and separates the average from the good and the great. So, what do you refer to when you say external motivation? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I just think about big games that we've had where motivation probably tends to, where the storyline and the narrative could pre-game from the external could potentially add percentages of motivation, a la Cripps's milestone game last year against the Dogs, the game against St Kilda last round last year, which, granted, I don't think we lost that game through fault of effort. It was execution, but point being, Collingwood as well earlier this year, Hawthorn wanting to rebound earlier this year. Yeah, the external motivation is good, but action, it's action then motivation, not motivation then action. So do it, get good at it, and that's what motivates you to keep going, as opposed to just, you can't find the motivation. It's hard, I think, to find the motivation from like just having this spontaneous thrill of motivation and then going out to execute.
It's also very difficult to be externally motivated when you are rewarded. So when you have $1 million players on $1 million salaries, it's like they're locked in. It's all good. Yeah,
and it also goes down to what their reward is.
Mm.
And look, it's their job at the end of the day, right? So, well, I'm sure there's a vast, I would argue, majority of players in the AFL right now who see their annual salaries as their reward, because that's their job.
Yeah,
but there's also obviously the other percentage that say premiership.
Yeah,
or glory.
some people, I would say most players in the league, and rightly so, by the way, I'd say most of them are just happy to play footy for a living, which is incredible and fair play. I think the sooner we can weed them out of the Carlton Football Club, the more focused we'll be on premierships. Like, it's okay, go and do that. Just go and do that elsewhere, somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
Like, I don't begrudge any player for playing to support his family, pay the bills. Like, I get that, and also imagine living out your passion for a living. Like, that's beautiful. Just not here. Like, we're here to win, so winning's first.
Is winning first for us or for the club?
Not right now, it's not, but it should be for us. Wait. What do you mean us? As in you and I?
You and I chat, 100,000 members.
Well,
winning's
now it is. I really do think that we accepted that there would be tough times years ago.
Yes, in the pursuit for success.
Yeah. So like now is the time that this team should be definitely winning more games than losing. We're talking like, mate, Carlton is like dating. You just like find yourself constantly lowering your standards and accepting the bare minimum. That's dating in 2025.
You're speaking from personal experience.
Yeah, the bar is low, bro.
I do tend to agree. I think as fans, it's been very clear this season that winning is the priority, and winning now is the priority. I don't think that's the same for the club. And at the end of the day, when you're I think now in particular, like specifically now, the AFL are going to be far more reluctant than ever to let teams fold. I don't think we're going to see a team fold anytime soon, potentially ever again.
No, won't happen. The AFL won't let it happen. They're fine now in that regard. It's just,
sorry to interrupt.
Go.
My point being there is, I can understand it from looking at it from the perspective of in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, that simply existing is arguably more important than winning flags and potentially going over the top in the pursuit for success, because there was a real threat that you would cease to exist if you went too far. Whereas now that threat isn't there. So that's what frustrates me the most. It's like, great, the business is booming, brilliant, but like you're not going to go bust. Like the club will probably exist for at least the rest of my lifetime. I would like to think. So why aren't we? That's, I guess, where the frustration is. Like, why isn't it desperate for success?
And you know what the beautiful thing that I find about right now is, I mean, no one's buying the shit.
No
one's buying it. Like, nah. Don't tell me we're doing what we can to, put things in place. Like, we heard that from Sayers. We heard it from, Le Judichère. Like, it's like you were tasked already with putting those things in place, and you didn't, or you didn't do it good enough. It's just such a fascinating situation right now. 8 weeks to go. Like, there's 8 more rounds of rhetoric to come. Supporters aren't going to shut up, and they shouldn't. They should not, and they won't. Maybe they will. Wait, do you think it'll die off from the Carlton fan rhetoric? I don't think it will.
What do you mean?
As in the noise, they keep, heaven forbid they lose 8 in a row.
The noise is too big now.
The noise is too big now.
And yeah, I don't know how to word my thought, so I won't say it. But there are too many people now who have a lot of trust, including yourself, from a lot of the fan base, that you can't mute it now. Like you can't mute it now. It's too far gone now. It's too far gone now, which I think is a good thing, because we spoke about it an hour, and we spoke about it 58 minutes ago, whatever it was. Holds the clubs accountable. hold the club accountable in our case, and then for other fans and for other
Yeah.
supporter bases, it holds their club accountable as well.
Because
like even with your interview with the Prez, that was the first time we heard him speak openly, one of the very few times. So without the existence of this, using it as an example, that accountability isn't there from that perspective, and then it filters down. So look, at the end of the day, it is 8 weeks, but I don't think the situation is any different from now. Do you think? So Graham Wright, we have closure on that case. In that transition is closed in terms of like we know when he's coming in, we know the process and all that stuff. Do you think anything can happen between now and in 8 weeks' time? Firstly, actually, to preface that, do you think the decision on key members of the football department have been made already, whether or not they stay or go?
I think they'll have an inkling. I'm just checking now. So August the 15th is a Friday, and we will be playing Port Adelaide the day after on the 16th in round 23 at Marvel Stadium. So the day before that game, he will be officially sworn in as the CEO and his duties will begin. I would think that they have an inkling of the changes that they're going to make. Personally, that'd be my best guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you think anything can happen in the next 8 weeks for that to change?
Okay, the most miraculous situation is undefeated. Does that change things? I don't think it. I don't think it would. I don't think it would. I think head of football will go. I think that's just very clear. I think the department's going to get beefed up. You know that they beef up the department. Like I think that's what's happening. I agree. And I sense right now that they're leaning towards building around the coach. But if it gets worse and there's more 80-point beltings on the horizon, like the old Carlton that you and I know, not the old Carlton that most people know, like those really morbid 72-point losses, then yeah, they might have to make the change. Like the players have to play for the coach if they really want him there next year.
Yes, I agree. I do agree, and I think the clearest, and obviously history doesn't repeat itself identically. Like that shit doesn't happen. But the clearest comparison we can make is Richmond in 2016. Post 2016, the higher ups of Richmond, I think the story goes, they went to every single player, every coach, and said, "Can Dimmer coach? Can he coach? Yes or no?" And I think it's for the following 5 years can quite clearly give you the answer to that question. So I can see a world in which Michael Voss stays on next year. I can't see a world in which Michael Voss and the rest of the department stay on this year. However, I can see a case where Michael Voss leaves and the rest of the department remains relatively similar. I can see both. Yeah, no. I can. I don't want it to.
I'll tell you this. It's Lloyd before Voss.
Yeah. No. Undeniably.
If Voss, I mean, Lloyd must, respectfully as a human being, but it's time to replace that. And you know that position. Yeah. I actually think the whole story around Graham Wright delaying until the 15th of August so he can help out the football department is low key because that head of football will be changing. So you want to just like have Graham Wright help out the football department between now and then.
Yeah,
that's my guess. That's how I read in between the lines.
That's a fair theory. Yeah.
That's fair. So that's just a guess, but we'll see.
What would you okay, here's the question. You have the ability to make one singular change.
Yeah.
Not a pattern of changes, not a philosophy change, one singular tangible change. What would you make right now?
Head of football, I'd replace.
Okay.
With a stronger figure. and someone who has a bit more. Like the role of head of football is to just have that strength about them, to challenge the coach, to also be the confidant of the coach, to have a really strong relationship with the coach and know football in and out. I just don't think currently that's what we have, and we haven't had it for a while, but it's becoming really clear.
Yeah, I think the clearest
first.
I think the clearest way of, and it's, I wouldn't be careful not to attack Brad Lloyd as a person, but I think the clearest way of identifying this, and I'm sure we all are at the same conclusion, but I think that the clearest way of looking at this is he was hired in 2018. Since 2018, you have the business side of the football club and the football side of the football club. I can't believe there's two distinguishable parts in that, but alas, we're here.
There is.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast. Business side, never been better. I think that's, for the most part, it's booming. Has been for a couple of years. Football side, apart from the natural growth and the natural development of the fruits of our labour that we endured during 2015 to 2019, there hasn't been significant improvement. And I think when you have a one consistent piece who oversees all of that, I think the choice is quite clear.
Yeah, some more seniority in there. I think that's a starting point. But yeah, it's just a can of worms, man, because then you can't talk about head of football without talking about the little political relationships in the inside and who's on whose side. And it's all games, man. It's all games in there. And that's corporate. That's why I'm not in. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah. I guess that goes back to the conversation. I think I said it last week of
that snakery.
But how many wrong people do you need to go through to get to the right person? And the effects of having the wrong people in there last a lot longer than just their tenure.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
It's going to be a tough 8 weeks.
Yep. Buckle up, eh?
Yeah. Not to
go easy. Huh?
No, I was going to say not to drag this on too long, but I think it was pretty. I think it was. We're in a very similar position now to what we were this time in 2021. I would say.
It feels that way. It definitely feels that way.
It was mathematically a chance. Had a couple of decent years, blah blah blah. Anyways, what do you see the differences are now holistically between then and now, if there are any?
Well, we haven't announced the external review, but there's a similarity in the new CEO is gathering all his information and he'll make his decisions at the end of the year. So there's like similarities there.
ChatGPT, I'm writing an essay. Please extend this for the word count. Essentially.
What are the similarities? Well, what makes it worse is this playing group is mature enough. Like Charlie wasn't playing then, we didn't know, do we risk him? Do we not? So like there's that. We have a better coach than what we did back then, which makes it worse.
Yeah.
It's actually worse.
Worse in the immediate, but does it provide a better outlook?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Let me see what the next 8 weeks looks like. Worst case scenario, don't win a game. Best case scenario, win every game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I hate to say it. To say it. There's 8 games left.
You know what? Fuck it. Imagine.
It's the last time we can. It's the last time we can.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck, I'm not gonna get it. Yeah. Who cares? Imagine though. Imagine they just rattle it off. All
their positions are in, at risk, and everyone's getting sacked, and everyone's like said, "There's no way," and like it's dead, and it's spiritually bankrupt, and the pressure's off.
We like scrap a 10-point win, ugly this Friday, and then Brisbane next week. We just come out and dominate 8-goal first quarter, and we played good decent second quarter and win, and then beat Melbourne, and then beat Freo or whatever it is, and then we're like, oh fuck, beat Hawthorn. Imagine.
Even for me, I
No.
love a fairy. You know me. I'll jump on the positivity train, but I just
What was it in 2021? 9-2.
it was no 80. No. 2023. It was we needed to be 8-2, and I said I ate to say it.
Yeah, sorry, I meant 2021. Then wasn't Joe on the 7-2, 9-2 train or something?
He
From
was on
memory?
something. He was on
Yeah.
something. He was on something. What was it? Oh,
It was something like that. We had I think it was like 10 games to go, and we could only lose 2 or something along those
what
lines.
was it? Wow, we've been doing this for too long.
Yep.
For no return. Well, I wouldn't say that. Just no return from the club.
Really?
Yeah.
That was good.
What's the difference between positivity and realism? The truth?
Wow, how profound. How profound.
Yeah. I'd like to try and find a bookie that will bet me Carlton not winning another game under Voss.
We will win a game. We will win a game this season.
We will win a game?
We will win at least one game. Well, I can guarantee we'll win at least one game for the rest of the season. We versus Essendon, guys.
A.
No. We'll win. We'll win them. Absolutely.
Stick fat.
Stick fat, exactly. Just lastly, moving away from Carlton briefly.
Yeah.
Are you aware of the fact that if George Hewitt and Adam Chera make incidental contact with an umpire one more time, they'll be suspended, or they'll be forced to they'll be forced to front the AFL tribunal?
Well, that'll be happening.
Yeah, of course it will be. I flagged this ages ago, like when they gave a free kick against George Hewitt because he got pushed into an umpire, and now
Was it long?
Yeah, first centre bounce of the game, and now them two, along with I think Matt Rowell is in that. I think John Dawson might be in that. Those type of players will now are facing that facing that potential fate, which I just think is utterly ridiculous.
Oh dear. Well, let the rain fall down.
Let it. Okay, last word. Crowd prediction for Friday.
68. Oh no, because the Collingwood fans will want to be there.
Yeah.
True.
So the reason I don't ask this without a thought behind it. 2018 or 2019, I think it was 2018, Carlton played Collingwood at the MCG and attracted a crowd of 53,000. Granted, Carlton were horrendous, but Collingwood were also in the midst of a premiership push. So we do have precedent set for where one team is performing diabolically for the crowd to dip below an expected figure of the 70,000 plus. Hence why I ask.
Okay. Yeah, I think 72.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I would say about right. I wouldn't say there's. I'd be surprised if it's over 85. Very surprised.
I'd be stunned if it got to 80.
Yeah, that's probably where I'm at.
Yeah. Aristotle.
Mate.
What a pleasure.
Likewise, as always.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We will see you tomorrow for the teams show.
Predictions?
Yep.
All the kids.
For the teams, Cowan and Ashton.
Lemmy, Ben Campo, Cow, all the kids, Lucas, Campo, all of them.
You reckon? No. Like
probably
3?
Probably not, but imagine. Harry Farrell, if size.
I think Frankie Evans, Frank the Tank. Had 24 touches last week, bro.
Yeah, got a reward of AFL form. You're so right.
Hey, man. Come on, selection integrity.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Very good.
All right.
Good luck.
Peace. Go Blues.
Go Blues.